What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all doing great. This is Kirby Steven here. Wake Up Ministry, bringing you information, motivation, and inspiration, but mostly information so we can wake up sleepers from our midst. If it is your first time watching this video or this podcast, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything about what we're doing here. Subscribe. We want to get to 500 subscribers. I'm so happy that we've crushed the 100 subscribers, but let's keep it going every Wednesday. We want to make sure that we have a video ready for you guys so you don't miss, skip a beat, so you don't go back to sleep, but we stay awake together. Guys, today we have an amazing conversation today. I want to wake you up, and I think I'm doing this more for myself, to wake myself up concerning politics. We're going to tackle today this conversation, this topic: can faith and politics mesh together? Can they come together? Can they coexist? Should faith and politics come along and walk alongside each other? And so if you are a Christian, this is for you. If you are a Christian sleeper, well, maybe that's going to help you wake yourself up like I am awake right now, and getting to this knowledge and understanding of Christianity, my faith, and politics. I want to give my take on it. Let's dive into it. So guys, man, I'm making this video today with a lot of reflection. You know, I'm not here to comment on politics. I'm not a political pundit. I'm not a political commentator. I'm not well versed in when it comes to politics. For those of you who are watching from outside Canada, I'm Canadian, so there's our Canadian politics here that we are struggling with, but definitely the entire world has watched the American politics, and I gotta tell you something, man. From looking from a Canadian perspective, we call ourselves cousin from the north. It brings a lot of question for us in the faith, because compared to Canada, America is much more religious than Canada. I mean, you're talking about United States, talking about America. We're all Americans in North Americans, but in the U.S., the tension between faith and politics is much higher than the secular politics here that we have in Canada. It is much more diverse, much more multicultural oriented. The issues of faith and politics, it's much more profound in America. And that brought me to ask me a lot of questions for the past few years. I didn't grow up in an environment where politics were the talk of the town or the table. My parents weren't too involved in politics. It's really when I got married, like 8 years ago. I became a parent a year after and started, became a full-time contributor financially to the economy, that I really started to pay attention to politics and start to hear what people say, And so I used to vote liberal, very liberal, Montreal, not because I was one, but because my parents were voting liberal, and my parents were voting a certain way. Therefore, I said, Dad, who we vote for? We got to vote. I'm of age. Who should we vote for? My parents said, well, vote liberal. They brought us here in Canada, so you should vote for them because they are the one that opens immigration. And that was the talk. That was the talking point for us. Hey, man, those are the ones that bring immigrants from Haiti to Canada. We should, continue and be, give back to this party for what they have done for us as Haitian. Now, I was born in Canada, but I didn't know better. And I never really gave thought to it. But when I moved to Ontario, I gotta tell you something, man. When my wife and I we moved to Ontario, we became much more patriotic to our country. we started to learn about Canada. We started to learn about what's going on in the political realm. And really started to ask questions. I started to read my constitution. I started to read some of the things that I was never aware or never been made aware, but just following the crowd. And I got to tell you something, that when I started to read, when I started to become more educated when it comes to the political realm in my own country here in Canada, I became much more interested. Now, I'm not here as a commentator. I'm not here to talk politically, but I started to really realize that my decision is taking shape, is actually influencing the direction of my country. That if I make a decision following a crowd, I'm gonna be the bearer of the decision that the party is making. So I'm saying, you know what? I need to ask questions. And I need to pray about this too, because I never prayed about politics. I never prayed for a political person. I never really, or I never was intentional. I mean, I prayed because the church prayed, because the pastor was more interested. So, hey, let's pray for our government. So we all end up praying for them. But I never really took a position to pray for a certain leader. I never went to a town hall. I never really asked any question. I never shook hands with with anybody. But when I came in Ontario, I started to kind of to awake and really start asking the question about faith and politics. Should Christians should be involved in politics? In the past, I was like, no, there's a big separation. Let them do whatever they want. We're gonna get raptured anyway. So whatever they do is biblical, and we don't have to fight anything because whatever they do, they're gonna do it anyway. But then I met so many other people who said, no, we should have a voice. And actually, as we pray for government, it's for our own benefit, and I'm talking about as Christian, to live in the land where we should prosper. And how can we prosper in the land that our voice are not being made known or being manifested in our voting or in our maybe activism or in our political position that we take? Right? Again, I'm not an expert, so I'm telling you, I'm making this video as I'm growing in this. And for real, making this video actually helps me think through some ideas and thoughts. And I think this is something that we all should do, is to start talking out loud about certain things or talking with other people, and be okay to disagree or to agree or to learn or even pivot from some of the things that you used to believe. Because if you were in a place before and you were following the crowd, I'm sure that if you talk to any side, I'm talking about both sides, you will learn something that will actually help you start forming your own opinion and actually make your faith stronger, and actually make you excited about reading the Bible to see, hey, what Jesus says about this policy or about this politics or about this politician or about this government or about whatever we are under and the authorities that we're in. And I've gone through a place where, you know what, I think our faith and even the church should be involved in politics. And this is not something that I came out a long time ago. This is actually a very recent pivot in my life that now I do hold dear. I've been meeting for the past 8 years with people that are involved in politics and also are Christians, also are people of faith. Now, I met with our MPP when I was in Brantford. I'm actually friend with our MPP here in Sarnia. This is for the first time I had an Instagram conversation with my MPP. I had I believe Booma, Booma in Brentford, and I have here in Sarnia, Limton, where I live right now, Miss Gladue, Mary Gladue, and those two, I know them personally. I actually followed them on social media. They followed me back, and I shook their hands. I went to see them. I went to hear them, and listen, I saw them come to church and pray, and saw a genuine Christian faith. Not only like political Christian faith, genuine, political or not, vest or not, title or not, Christian faith. And that really touched me because I'm like, you know what? Those people are genuine in their faith and they are involved in politics. Is there such thing as being a Christian and be fully entrenched into parliament and fully entrenched into politics? Now, you can call me silly, dumb, stupid. I don't care. I'm learning. I was a baby in that realm and I didn't know what to think. So, for the past 8 years, I've been learning a whole lot. And now we have in America, in the United States, to say it more precise, this debate that just happened. I'm not gonna comment on it. I don't care what you believe, and you don't care what I believe. That's the point. But we had this debate that happened in the United States. And I believe now we are in a state in our political realm, and I'm talking about even in Canada, that evil and good, bad and evil, good and bad, is clear in the society in which we live in. That actually your faith, and I'm talking to Christian, if you're not a Christian, if you don't have religious principles, and I'm talking about any faith as well, if you don't have no religious leaning, this is not for you. Okay, you will vote your conscience. You will vote whatever you want, the people, whatever you do, you do you. I'm talking about as a Christian, as a follower of Jesus Christ. I came to a point now that my faith is definitely going to be a huge influence on future votes that I am going to do. And why do I say that? Not because faith should be in politics, is because I've realized that politics is just another decision that I have to make in my overarching life as an adult, as a citizen of a country. That my faith is also an influence. I put politics in the same realm of relationship, in the same realm of whatever friend group I'm in the same realm of who I marry and who I'm dating, and all those beautiful things. If we are awake Christians, whatever decision that we are making should be influenced by the faith that we have in Jesus Christ. Now, I'm preaching right now, and I'm preaching good. Okay? Every decision that we are making should be influenced by our faith, our commitment, our surrender, our life surrendered, faith that we have with Jesus Christ. And I think it should be the same for politics. Now, when I go in and I look at politicians, I'd have to ask myself the question, does his policies, does his politics align with my Christian values, with my faith, my following with Jesus Christ? And I'm not in politics because he or she is a Christian. I'm making a decision upon whatever direction this party is going. Is it going to encourage my going in my faith as well? Or am I making a decision that actually compromises my faith or encourage something that has no value whatsoever to what I believe? So this is a very important conversation. And I believe this is why there's a great tension in the world, especially in the Western world, in Canada and in the US, as people exploring who they're voting for. There's a clear definition of how you're going to decide according to what we believe. Now listen, this political arena, especially in the United States, are dealing with stuff that totally walk with the toe line of faith and biblical values and understanding about subject that is actually very close to our religious belief, right? Talking about faith, talking about identity, talking about governance, how to govern, right? All those things you can find in the Bible clear indication on how to go about making your decision, right? If I if I read the Bible correctly, I'm pro-life. My faith engages the sustenance and the multiplication and the promotion of life. And if there is a person in politics who actually is a promoter of death, should I vote for such a person, politician, or policies? If my faith encourage a leaning on gender, and proclaim that there's only two gender when it comes to the identity of a creation being, a created being. Should I vote for a party or a person who encourage that, who doesn't encourage that, who actually promote the confusion and deception on the understanding that what I believe in? And I'm talking to Christian, but I'm talking to anybody who has firm values in certain things. Should you go against your values? Yes, you should vote according to your values. You should vote according to what you believe. You should vote according to what you have surrendered your life to follow. And if you live in a society, you should make decisions according to how you want to live your life, according to what you're currently living. If you are a business owner, I believe you should vote according to how you want your business to be run and how much involvement you want your governing power to be involved in your businesses. As a parent, as a business owner, as a teacher, as a career, or whatever employee, however look at it. I'm talking about with the faith and religious lens, right? So we are living in a time right now that I believe faith and governance are together. And I applaud anybody in politics right now that are in that great battle of faith and politics, where there's somehow to toe the line, some of them have to compromise certain things about their faith. I don't want to be in those shoes. Right now, I'm a pastor behind the mic with a wake up ministry video podcast, and putting my opinion out there. Am I totally right about this? I don't know. Like I said, I'm very green in that, and I'm growing in that perspective. So you can be in a comment and say, Pastor Kirby, you're totally wrong, and I will be happy to contend with you. I'll be happy to argue with you and learn more and actually shine light on maybe on some of the things and maybe go a little bit further. Go into the comment section and put your thoughts down. But we live in a time right now where Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are in a position that are waking a lot of people. There are a lot of people. They are waking a lot of people. And as Canadian, because hey, I'm trying to find Christian perspective on YouTube, I can't find one. I think I'm the only okay, I don't believe that I'm the only person that has a channel who talks about Canadian politics and faith. There might be others, but Canadians don't think as big as the United States. So I don't know if there's somebody out there where I can speak with that has a YouTube channel, maybe have the same or an opposite view. I'm here to figure that out, right? But man, it is an inspiration to me. It is an inspiration to me to look at the U.S. politics that actually makes me think on how to imply my thoughts for my Canadian politics. Now, I do understand that the U.S. and Canada are two different countries with two different type of tension when it comes to religious. I believe Canadian is much more secular when it comes to politics. Our politics is much more secular than United States. Religion is much more profound in the governance, in the Constitution than Canada ever is. Even though our founding fathers have embedded religious, I believe we are a country where I've been with a strong Christian heritage, but has been easily put to the side. And I believe it's because we have lost our voices and we have been shut down. And in Canada, religious voices are shut down. So it's very hard for Christians to have this type of voice. And I don't even know how this video is going to take because of that very position that in Canada that we have. So, hey, we'll see. But what do you think? What do you think? What is your position when it comes to Canadian politics or U.S. politics when it comes to faith and governance, faith and politics? Right? Do what is your opinion on that? Do we have a say when it comes to our faith? I believe so. I think now more than ever in history, it's clear that faith has our great influence in our decision and where our vote goes in the next election in Canada, and especially and for sure in the US. There's a great Christian divide right now because there's Christians on both sides. There's liberal Christians and there's conservative Christians. But my question is there now such things as liberal Christianity? I don't think so. I think right now the left or the liberal or Democrats are gone. There's no point. There's I don't see any right now correlation uh with the faith with what I'm reading in the Bible and what the left or the woke mind or the liberal, call it whatever you want, are promoting that will actually fuel and engage my faith and my relationship with Christ. But I can be wrong. Maybe I'm nuts. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to think. But right now, this is where I am. Let's talk. Let's go in the comment section tonight. And as you watch this video, let's comment in the comment sections. Like this video if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't. But whatever it is, interact with this video. Subscribe, like to this video. I have great stuff coming up for this video. I'm thinking about going big, growing a community of wake up people. And so, hey man, give me ideas. I would love to grow on as a YouTuber again. I'm new to this. I'm growing in this. Every Wednesday or Thursday, you're gonna find a video every week. I'm committed to it. I'm saying it loud, so I commit to it myself, and we'll keep it going. All right, stay awake and don't sleep because we need you awake for what God wants to do with us. See you in the next one.